Hello again, Certain Fitness Gang. Today we're going to be looking at PewDiePie's workout review. So let's skip the splash screen and just jump right into it. I said skip the splash screen. So hello everybody. Those of you who may not know me, my name is Jody. I am an exercise physiologist and personal trainer. Most importantly, and for today's topic, I am Floor Gang for life. A couple days ago, PewDiePie uploaded a workout review video that he made. It's about 20 minutes long, talking about everything from his philosophy of working out to his home gym, to the mistakes that he's made, and I want to go over all of those. I'm going to grade his workout plan and everything that he talks about, but he does a really good job explaining a lot of things, and kind of his philosophy behind working out is kind of really in tune to somebody who knows what they're going for. So really great job on his video, firstly. So he shows this picture that Marzia had uploaded, which is his wife, onto social media, probably Instagram, I'm assuming, and he got a lot of feedback for it. I'm showing him at the top of a ladder looking absolutely ripped. Well, you can see the picture, and he goes on to talk about that a little bit, of how he's not fit, he's just lean. Let's watch that clip real quick.
I'm not ripped, okay? I'm just lean, or what? There's a difference.
So that's spoken like any guy who has muscle hypertrophy or muscle gain goals, to always start off by kind of pushing down your success or your progress, saying, well, I'm not big, I'm not ripped, I'm not muscular, I'm just lean. That's kind of a way to always push yourself, to say, I'm not there yet, I have a lot of work to do, I want to maintain my motivation, I want to maintain that discipline, and that's something I'm going to talk about a lot throughout this video, of just how disciplined he is, and his motivation. It's pretty awesome, actually. I mean, somebody who for the past 10 years uploads a video every day, he's only taken one break in the entire 10 years. So you're talking about somebody who's very disciplined. So it's really cool to see him kind of take that mindset, which he also talks about in the video, and we'll get to that. He takes that mindset into his workouts. Really, really cool. Let's look at another clip.
I had never been to a gym before in my entire life, and I didn't know anything. I didn't know how to properly squat. I didn't know what reps meant. I didn't know what sets meant. I was terrified. I had no idea what to expect, and it was just the overconfidence in me just said, okay, you just go in there and just, how hard can it be? You just put up and down weights. Anyone can do that. Don't be me, basically what I was saying. If you've never been to a gym before, ask a friend to introduce you, or even better, ask one of the personal trainers at the gym. There'll definitely be one.
Okay, so firstly, he talks about a few things in there that we're going to go over, but the main thing that I want to address right from the beginning is he talks about gym intimidation and not having any knowledge. That's something that everybody goes through. You know, I don't care if you're the most gym bro now, at some point you didn't know what to do. And it transcends everybody. That's something that we all kind of have to overcome. And for him, he used the personal trainer there at the gym to kind of overcome that, to get an idea of what to do, how to do that. And he goes on to talk about personal training, and we'll go over that in just a second. But it's really cool that he opened up and kind of talked about that, because it is very genuine, it's very real, and everybody does go through that. So 2 thumbs up. Really cool to kind of get that out there and talk about that.
I keep seeing the sentiment that people that are maybe overweight or don't feel confident about their body, or feel like they're going to be judged or something like that. That just couldn't be further from true. And I gotta say, the personal trainers that I worked with have just been the most motivating and supportive people, because that's their job, you know.
So another really cool clip from his video, talking about being judged, that whole gym intimidation thing. And people think, well, I can't go to the gym, I'm not in shape. That's like saying I can't go to the doctor's office because I'm not healthy. It doesn't make sense. I mean, that's where you go to get into shape. It's awesome that he kind of, again, he expressed that real personal, real genuine experience to people, that he didn't see it as that when he went there. There were people there to support him. There were people there to help him. It was their job to do so. And I will say, for most personal trainers, I cannot speak for everyone, but we don't get into it for monetary gain. I mean, yes, it's a job, but you're not going to get rich being a personal trainer unless you have some really high-end clientele, or you've just been in the business for a long time. It's really awesome to see that he put that out there to say, you know, seek out that help. That's how you learn. You need to find somebody with that experience. He did mention before in an earlier clip of going with a friend. That's a great way to start, of just to get in the door. But I think working out for somebody else's goals, as I've mentioned in other videos, it's not the way to go. You need to individualize and customize your personal workout to your individual goals. And that's important, and that's something a personal trainer can help you with.
The problem was that I didn't have a goal with my exercise. I just sort of went with it, which was a big mistake.
And that is a very common mistake that most people make. They just think, I'm going to go to the gym, I'm going to get in, fantastic shape, whatever that means to them. But without a specific goal of what are you working towards, it's going to change your workout immensely. And again, it's a very genuine, very real thing. And he shared that mistake that he made in the beginning. He did not have a goal. And if you have problems with goal setting, then we actually put out a video. I will leave a link down in the description for that. One of the things that you have to do before you start a workout plan, and we talk about goal setting in that. But again, really, really cool that he brings that up. Very genuine, very real experience. So again, I'm super happy with this video, how he put that out, how he's sharing his true experience and helping other people, the 19-year-olds that follow him. I think it's really, really cool. I'm just going to let this next clip play on its own. I think it's really cool to experience what he's talking about in its entirety, so I'm not going to have my reaction in there. I'm just going to let this clip play and let you view it. But in the clip, he talks about how people view him as being rich, and he's probably got, a cadre of personal trainers. He's got this amazing home gym. So he shows his setup, and I'm just going to let that play and just kind of let you watch that and experience it just like I did for the first time.
Oh, he's super rich. He's got like a super good trainer pumping him every day, and he's got like this insane gym at home. He can afford it. So I thought, why don't I just start off by showing what my gym looks like. Welcome, and here's my gym setup.
Pretty epic setup, right? But again, it's really cool to show like where he's gotten using what he has. You don't need a gigantic gym setup. You don't even need a gym. It's one of those things that people think, well, I can't get into shape at home. And it could be a motivation thing for some people. I understand that. But you don't need all these machines. You don't need a bunch of weights. Again, depending on your goal, you may need some sort of heavy resistance. But again, to get into really good shape, you don't need all of that gym stuff, basically. And he makes do with what he has. It was a bench and a couple of adjustable dumbbells is what he uses. And he goes on to talk about, his dumbbells and some wrist wraps that he used for protection from the dumbbells, because they're the adjustable kind. And then he talks a little bit about journaling, which I think is super, super important. So I'm so glad that he put that in there. And he talks a little bit about hurting his arm. So let's just kind of run into those clips really quick, and then I'll talk about them afterwards.
So I write down all this is me day one. I was doing flat press 50, and I was doing 70, and then I could do, it's not that bad actually. I haven't improved that much. It's just, I hurt my arm recently. That's
something that I absolutely preach, is tracking your progress. How do you know if you're getting close to achieving your goals if you don't track those things, if you don't have those metrics, those numbers? So it's something that's really important to keep track of, and he does a great job of that in his journal.
Yeah, this was 2 weeks ago I hurt my arm. This is the problem with dumbbells, and don't make the mistakes I made. Properly warm up, make the right movements. Because if you get injured, you're out for 3 weeks at least. It takes that long for the muscles to recover, and it's very easy to get damaged with dumbbells.
So a lot to unpack in just that little 18-second clip, but he makes 3 really, really good points. And the first one is the warm-up. It's something that we preach a lot. So any of the online training or virtual training or even in-person training that we do for certain fitness, it's going to be a balanced warm-up to work on those things that you need to work on, basically, to fix any kind of things that may lead to an injury state down the road. And he talks about being injured, and we'll get to that in just a second. And he also talks about proper movements. Well, if you're working out for somebody else's goals, you may not be making proper movements. And again, if you don't know how to work out at all, you're probably not going to be making the proper movements, and that will lead to an injury state, which again, he went through. And he talks about injuring his back as well. And I'm not going to go over that part of the video either, but he does get injured, and later on he talks about exercising to failure, pretty much for every single set. And I'm thinking that probably led to the injury state more so than even the movements. We'll get into that in just a second. Let's check out another clip.
My training, I wrote down in a journal, which you saw earlier, my reps, my sets, the weights, and how much rest time I would keep. And I would really try and push myself each time to make sure I was making progress.
So once again, he does a really good job of explaining what he tracks in his journal. Things for like weight, reps, the number of sets that he does. All those things are super important, and it's one of the things that if you do any kind of training with a trainer, we will absolutely prescribe that information for you, so you will know what you should be doing, shouldn't be doing, maybe to stay away from the the injury problems that he had. And that's something, again, I'm not trying to plug our services or anything, but if you do online training, that's something that we provided for you in either the app or through the PDF. But it's really cool that he continues to track that progress.
The most important thing is to really do it until you fail. Like, you can't push any longer. That should be the goal.
Okay, here's the first time that I have any kind of problem with the things that he put out there. So again, he's got a huge platform. He's got 100 million people watching him. How many of those people are going to take to heart what he said? I mean, this isn't one of his biggest videos. I think he put it out a couple days ago, and it's got maybe 7 million views. So it's not one of his bigger ones, but still, there's going to be a lot of people who look to what he said and kind of take that to heart. Now, if muscle hypertrophy is your goal, yes, you absolutely want to increase your volume to the point where you're going to failure on certain sets. However, the information he puts out leads you to believe that he goes to failure on every single set. That's going to lead to an injury state eventually. Again, depending on what your goal is, if it's a strength goal and you're doing 3 rep max and you go to failure, it is what it is. I don't think that's where he's at. His dumbbells went up to maybe 90 pounds, and he was talking about injuring himself on a pull movement. So he was probably doing rows, something like that. If you're going to failure on every single set, eventually the muscle is going to break down. You cannot maintain that kind of workload. And he'll talk about a split a little bit later, and it's a typical bodybuilder split, and it's pretty aggressive for someone who's going to failure all the time. I do not recommend going to failure for every single set. Even if muscle gain, muscle size, muscle hypertrophy is your goal, I really recommend that you keep that failure to just a few sets. There's better ways to do it. Things like supersetting, where you could do pretty close to 85, 90% of your max weight. You do those for reps, and then immediately do like a body weight exercise to burn out. A bench press, a flat bench press. You use dumbbells. You're going to 85, 90% of your max rep. You go, maybe 8, 10 reps. As soon as you get done with that, or you get near failure, you rack those weights, you set them down, flip on over, and do push-ups to failure. That's a way safer way to go about it than maintaining that load on the muscle and going to failure repeatedly throughout the workout. And again, it's a small change to that, but it's something I think is important to put out there. And again, he had an injury problem that he talked about, and I'm thinking that load or that volume is probably what led to it. I don't know. I can only assume, but again, it's information that you should probably know.
This video just became me ranting about different topics. Hopefully it is helpful for people to understand my mindset, because I really think mindset is one of the most important things if you want to work out. You can obviously, anyone can pick up working out for a little while, but unless you have the right mindset, you're not going to be able to be consistently pushing yourself for it.
And the reason that I included that clip and I wanted to talk about that is he talks about mindset. And for him, he does a lot of philosophy. He researches that kind of stuff. So for him, it's all about mindset. But for most people who don't have that kind of motivation, we have to separate that and just start working on discipline. He is a super disciplined person. Like I said at the beginning of this video, he's been doing YouTube for 10 years. He's been uploading videos every single day for 10 straight years. And for people who don't know, that's a lot of work. It's not just like, oh, I sit down and record for 15 minutes and then I go play video games all day. It's a lot of work. It takes a lot of discipline to do that, and he clearly has that. And he talks about being in that right mindset to be able to push himself every day. And consistency is super important. He obviously has that in spades. It's awesome that he can provide that to his viewers and show them what it takes to get to where he's at. And he continually talks about how much work he has to do. So it's not an instant gratification type thing. Hey, I worked out once, I've reached my goal. It's really cool that he shows that long-term dedication and explains in this video multiple times what it takes to get to where you want to be. So again, 2 thumbs up, Felix. Awesome job. Oh, my knees. Oh. Floor gang's hard work, I'm not gonna lie.
So Mondays, I do push exercises, and then Tuesdays I do leg, squats, deadlifts, yada yada, lunges. and then Wednesday I do pull exercises, then Thursday I do leg again, and then Friday I finish with a mix of push and pull.
So yeah, it's a pretty typical what we would just call a bodybuilder split: push day, leg day, lower day, and a pull day. Pretty common, especially for people just starting out. Once you get further into it, depending on what your goals are, you're going to change that up a little bit. But it's a decent workout. I have no complaints about that. Again, it's a good, safer way to start working out. And like he said, he's kind of a beginner. He talks about that. He makes no claims of being an expert in working out or whatever. So I think it's a decent workout. I will say, and I'll put this out there right now for him, if he wants a customized workout, contact me. I'm sure he's never going to watch this, but that's something that we do, is online training. So if it's something anybody's wanting to look to step up to that next stage and work on a customized individualized workout, contact us. It's something I would absolutely love to do, to see that next stage of progress in his workouts, or anybody's, really. I mean, that's why I do what I do. I want to set up this next clip a little bit because I'm going to talk about it afterwards. He makes I'm not going to say mistake, it's a misconception that a lot of people have, and I'll talk about that afterwards. I'm going to let the clip play, and then afterwards I'll discuss it.
When you're lifting weight, you're only burning so many calories, no matter how heavy of an exercise. You don't really lose weight while lifting weights, ironically. You have to change your diet if you want to lose body fat.
Okay, so let's dive into this. I'm going to try to keep it kind of watered down. I don't want to bore people with a giant physiology lecture, but he makes a couple statements in there that are incorrect. They're not 100% correct, put it that way. So he says, I wrote it down so I made sure I got the quote right. You don't lose weight lifting weights. There's some truth to that. Weight, scale weight, Earth's gravity on you is probably not going to go down if you lift weights. You're probably going to continue to gain a little bit of muscle, so scale weight may not go down. Now, if you're somebody who's obese or sedentary, yes, you're going to lose body fat, and we'll get to body fat and how important what he said about that is. But yes, you will see that scale go down by lifting weights, and I'm going to talk about those processes in just a second. And then he goes on to say that you need to change your diet to lose body fat. He's got those two kind of flip-flopped. And yes, you will, if you change your diet, you will lose some body fat. However, scale weight will go down more by changing your diet than actual body fat. So again, it's different for everybody, where you start from, how conditioned you are. There's a lot of different factors that play into that. But he's got those concepts a little bit messed up. So one thing, if you just want to dive into that, just Google EPOC, excess post exercise oxygen consumption. I always kind of mess that up in my head. But anyways, excess post-exercise oxygen consumption. Look that up. It's a way for your body to recover from the workout that you did to get back to homeostasis. So things like conversion of lactate back to pyruvate, making more ATP, resynthesis of glycogen back into the muscle. Those are things that are going to happen during this EPOC state of after you've worked out. So glycolysis through anaerobic exercise, lifting weights, that actually burns a ton of calories after the workout. You're at a higher metabolic rate during that EPOC stage. Now, EPOC it works a little bit differently for aerobic versus anaerobic exercise, but it is a higher elevated state of metabolism. So you actually do rip through a ton of body fat after your workout, and it could last a few hours. It could last up to 24 hours. I mean, some places will say 72 hours. That's an extreme workout, but it could last for through the evening till the next morning, possibly. So you do use a lot of metabolic processes to recover from weightlifting, and you absolutely do lose a lot of body fat by lifting weights. It's not just the diet. People think, and again, he has that kind of concept, I'm assuming, that lifting weights will just add muscle. It doesn't do anything to the body fat, and that's nothing could be further from the truth. You cannot raise your metabolic, your glycolytic metabolism through just doing cardio or just dieting. It doesn't work that way. Your metabolic rate will never change. You need that glycolytic load. You need that volume in your workout. So again, that's one thing that I just kind of want to inform people about, that he's not 100% correct on that. But again, it's small, nitpicky kind of things coming from a physiology background. All right, so let's wrap this up and watch a couple clips real quick.
Last thing, working out will not solve all your problems.
That is absolute fact right there. We're going to be putting on a video, that's our next video actually, about the things that drive people to change. And one thing is self-image, and I'm guessing that's what he's talking about mostly. It's not going to solve all of your problems. What happens when you reach your goals and those issues, the underlying issues of wanting to work out are still there. It's a very real thing. It's very genuine, and he didn't really dive into that a lot, but I know that's kind of where his mindset is, because he talks about it a little bit in the video. So it's really cool that, again, he's talking about that very genuine experience, and he's telling his followers, his 100 million people who may be watching this video, that this is not the saving grace. If you feel comfortable with yourself, and we'll talk about that in the video as well, and I'll leave a link to his video down in the description as well. But he talks about, if you feel comfortable with yourself, lifting weights or working out is not for everybody. I see that a little bit differently coming from my background, but again, it's not something that you necessarily have to do to make a change to yourself. It may be something just to stay healthy, to maintain, to move well, to keep your energy levels up. But again, it's not going to fix everything.
And it's been really motivational as well to see so many support around it. I think that's great, and I really appreciate it. I really feel like gym bros are the most supported people out there.
That's probably true. Add my name to that list of people, supporting him, wanting him to achieve better things. And he said maybe a year from now he'll put out another video kind of showing his progress. I look forward to that. Again, great job, great video. Nothing but, great things to say about putting that information out there, getting people in the right mindset of doing a little bit of research beforehand, seeking out help. All of those things were amazing. And he even says in the video, don't be like me. Don't make the mistakes he made. And he put those out there to say, these are some of the things that you can do to kind of screw up your progress, maybe. So again, great job, PewDiePie. I'm so thankful you put that information out there. Again, if you're new to the channel, please, as always, this is what every YouTuber does. Please subscribe, hit that bell so you get the notifications, like the video. We're a brand new channel. Any traction we can gain, it'll help out a lot. Thank you for watching. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. And until next time, Certain Fitness Gang.